It's a saxophone, but it's not curved like the others. Doesn't mean it's not a saxophone. Now, let's learn a little science. Watch this. I'm going to take the neck off. Does anybody know what this thing is? That's right. It's called a mouthpiece. Now, the mouthpiece is the part you blow into. Now, watch this. Here's a bonus. Does anybody know what that is? It is a type of bamboo called, starts with an R.
My sister has that. Rosin?
Close. Rosin is for violins, though. We're in the music family. It's called a reed. Now, everybody take your two fingers and put them right here. And I want you to hum like this. You feel that vibration? Okay, now, here's how we produce the music. Now watch what happens without the reed. You have to have something to vibrate to create the sound waves. Here we go. I'm ready. Let me try that again. Must have done something wrong. Nothing's happening. That's because we don't have the vibration of the reed. Now as I blow the air across the back of the reed, it vibrates real fast and we can produce the sound. Now watch this. Now this is a soprano saxophone. It's one of the higher members of the saxophone family, and we're going to use it to demonstrate a type of music that began in the late 1800s when slave songs, work chants, church music, and New Orleans Dixieland all came together to start the beginnings of jazz, which it wasn't called jazz till the 1920s. But these shows produced this kind of music. So they used to do this kind of beat that was something like this. It would be second line, New Orleans. Then they might play something like this. That was a New Orleans Dixieland kind of thing called When the Saints. Now, we're going to move forward because we don't have tons of time. We had jazz, and then we had big band jazz that started to develop in the 20s with people like Count Basie. Now, Louis Armstrong was one of the first founders of the music. He had the Hot House 5, and he had some great music. And New Orleans, he moved to Chicago and New York, and the music started spreading. And then we had music from
Duke Ellington.
Right? Does anybody know Duke Ellington's real name? It wasn't Duke. They called him Duke because he dressed very nicely all the time.
Edward?
No! Edward Kennedy Ellington. You are, whoa, wow. All right, so we're going to demonstrate another type of music. This is something that Duke wrote along with a guy named Billy Strayhorn. This song is called Take the A Train, and it actually has the directions to Harlem in New York. So I'm going to play a little bit of it for you. Now, there's going to be a melody, and then there's going to be something called improv, where I'm just going to make up some music off the top of my head. I'm going to show you how we're going to do that after I do this. Here we go. Look at this big, oh.
Oh, I think I know what that is.
You do? Oh, somebody. But you had your hand up. What is it called? It is a saxophone. Now this one, look at this. Now, we're going to learn something. I want you to raise your hand. This horn is larger than the other one, so is it going to sound higher or lower? Your hand was up.
Lower.
Right. Now, it's lower because it's bigger, and it has a bigger bore, and it's the larger tube. The longer the air has to travel, the lower. So let's see how low it can go, all right? Now, the reed may be a little dry, so I may have to warm it up a little bit. This is called a tenor saxophone. Soprano, tenor. Different sound, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you think that's how low it can go? What I just played? Okay, let's see if we can go any lower. I just ate lunch, so this may be hard. Here we go.
Oh.
Think you can go lower than that?
Yeah.
What a crowd. All right, here we go.
Lower.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay, now I have time. I only have room for one more note. I can only go. Now, if you watch while I'm playing, I'm basically closing the holes on the tube to make the air go further. So watch, I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom, and when I get to the bottom, all of this is going to close. All right, so watch the side of the instrument. That's it. That's as far as we can go. Now let's use this to play Take the A Train. Here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Bridge. It keeps going like that. All right. Now, the first part of that, you heard this melody that went like this. But then in the middle, you just heard me playing all this other stuff. Well, that's called improvisation. It's a basic part of jazz, and it's where we just make up the music off the top of our head. like a comedian who just comes out and just starts improvising. So I'm going to show you how improv works right after I demonstrate this next instrument. Now, not only did jazz work in regular everyday music, but it also worked with Latin music and bossa novas, sambas, different things like that. So right now I'm going to demonstrate another jazz instrument that works well with a song that I wrote that's a bossa nova called Kanapali Beach, which is named after a beach in Maui that I got to visit. Maui's in Hawaii. All right. Here we go, here we go. Okay. Now, everybody know what this is?
Clarinet.
I'm so hurt. But it's okay. It's not a clarinet. You're close. What's your name?
Emily.
Emily. I'm going to give you another chance since you were so serious. It starts with an F. You're close. I can tell you wanted to say it. You know, what is it?
Flute.
It's a flute.
My
Right.
mom played a clarinet and a flute.
Oh, right. Well, she's a woodwind specialist. Now, the flute, no, where's the reed? Doesn't have a reed. So how are we going to create the vibration without the reed? Well, let me show you what happens. When you blow air across this part, which is the head joint, this air stream splits and you send air spiraling down the instrument, and that creates the sound. So I don't need a reed. Watch this. So the air is going down through here. It's split here, it goes down through, and once again we have a tube. The more my fingers go down, the lower the note gets. The flute also doesn't have an octave key. You have to do all your register changes with your mouth. Watch. So I can make it jump by loosening and tightening the airstream. All right, so let's play a little music with the flute. Here it comes. Here we go, watch. So that's a little bit of the flute. Hear how the sound is different? See, it's totally different from the saxophone. But actually the fingerings are very similar to the way what we do on the saxophone. You can hear that. Okay, now when you put the air through it, you get the different tones. Okay, so this is the flute. All right, now. Okay. Oh, turn that way. Let's see. Stand right here. We're going to show you how improvisation works. Right there. Don't move. Don't step on it. Come on. Watch my reed. Okay. you, Jack, into the bag. This out of your way. All right. Okay, now, these people, they're going to represent what we call a pentatonic scale. Now, a pentatonic scale, how many notes do you think it has in it? Judging by who's up here. 5. Okay, so may I write on the board, please? Permission to write on the board? All right. If I can find, I'll just write over this Tom Braxton part. Okay, so somebody laughed. That's good. All right, so here we have the 5 notes that we're going to use for what I'm about to do next. All right, so you are going to be a D. You are an F. You are a G. And you,
I'm gonna be a B.
you're an A. I'm sorry, you're a C. All right, so now if we look at these as parts of the musical scale, look what I'm going to do. Well, let's use this. Okay, so I'm going to play that one in a second. Now, here are the notes we're going to play. Listen to how they sound. Pretty cool. All right, now you come join me in the pink right here. And I want you to squeeze in here. And you're going to be the kind of fun, funky note right here, right there. All right. So you are going to be my A flat. Watch this. You're right here. Now we've gone from pentatonic scale to a blues scale. Watch this. Now we had this. Now with her in here, we have this. Okay, so now what I need you to do right here. Now I'm going to produce melodies based on these notes. I'm going to improvise. I don't know what I'm going to play, but based on these particular people, I can make notes. So I can start with a C like this. I just played these 2 notes and then I added her. Okay, now I'm going to add some more. As a matter of fact, I'll get behind so you can see better. Scoot forward, everybody. So I don't fall over a table back here. All right. So C, A flat, G, F, D. Okay. You're not, you can be high too. See, a D can be up here. All right, so it doesn't matter. All right, here we go. I'm going to do a little improv based on the notes that I have and nothing else. Here we go. See, I just made up a musical line using what I have. Now watch. Now I'm going to start with a flat note. See, I can just stay right here between these 2 guys. All right, now let's do it with some music and see what I can do. We're going to use John Coltrane's. We're going to use John Coltrane's Mr. PC. This is blues. Now I'm going to make up some melodies with these guys. Ready? right here. All of them. You guys wore me out. All right. You guys were awesome. All right, sit down. Give them a hand right there. All right. Now, you see what we did? I took the notes that I didn't play anything but the notes that were in front of you. That's all I used. And I was making up solo notes, making up lines of music. Now, it takes many years to do this, and I'm still learning. But that's what's called improvisation. All right. Let's look at one more horn before I have to go. It is go. Now look, it's right in the middle. You have the little one, you have the big one. This one's in the middle. You know what this is? What do you think? It's a saxophone, but it starts with an A. It's an alto saxophone. Exactly. And tell you what we're going to do. Listen to the sound of this particular instrument. So it's not as low. That's right. It's an English star. So it's not as low as that one, but it's not as high as the other one. Okay, so my last music thing. Oh, I thought I heard somebody talking while I was talking. Did you hear it?
Yes, I heard it.
We can't do that. Because I'm almost out of time and I won't get to do everything we need to do. Yeah. They told me I could play till 4 o'clock. Just kidding. All right, so now the last thing I'm going to play, jazz has evolved into today's music where it's kind of mixed with R&B and all these other styles. So I'm going to play a little bit of alto for you, a song, one of my songs from the next chapter, which is called The Next Chapter. And you'll see what this particular horn sounds like in a modern environment. And then here we go. That is a use of the saxophone in the more modern period, which is like right now, which we're writing music. That's, you see, that had a little groove to it, which is different than like the Duke Ellington and some of those other styles of music. Right now, I want to take 2 minutes and tell you a little bit about me. And this is not to brag, but it's to tell you what's possible and to inspire you. Okay, so give me 2 minutes of your attention. This is more important than the playing even. Because going places and doing what I do, I've played in Africa, I've played in Japan, I've played in Russia, I've played all over the United States, I've played in parts of Asia. But it started a long time ago with a lot of hard work. And even when I was back at your age, I was working hard in school. And anything that you want to do, whether it's a saxophone or whether you want to be a scientist, whether you want to be a teacher, whatever you want to be, it takes hard work. And it starts now. You don't, well, I'm going to wait till I'm in high school, then I'm going to really be good at what I do. You can actually start right now. You can be good at home. You can, when your parents say clean up your room, beat them to it, clean up your room. When your teachers say do this much, you can do more than they ask you to do. I was very fortunate that not only did I play the saxophone in school, in high school I was an all-state musician on the saxophone, but I was also an all-state track athlete and went to Texas Tech on a track scholarship. I was a 400-meter and a 200-meter athlete, and I played basketball. And I was the valedictorian of my high school class. I made nothing but A's in high school. Now, and I was an honor graduate from college. I was a summa cum laude, that's a fancy word for an honor grad in college. Now, well, I'm not there yet, I'm only in 2nd grade. That's okay. But it started back here with me doing the best I could in the classroom at all times. And then when I started playing the piano, I did the very best I could. When I started playing the saxophone, I did the very best I could. And when my parents asked me to do something, I did it to the best of my ability. Clean up your room, I'm going to clean it right. Do this, do it right. Don't just do the minimum. Do the very best you can at whatever you do. And people ask me, hey, how do you get in the music business? I usually tell them 3 things. You have to be very good at what you do. You have to have character, and you've got to be a professional. There are many times when I'm asked to come play something, somebody will ask me a month or 2 early, come play so-and-so. They don't come back and check on me and, are you going to be ready? Did you practice the music? No, I'm a professional. They expect me to show up and be ready because I may only have one opportunity to do that right. I've had those situations where you show up and you get one time to do it right. Played with people like Aretha Franklin, Luther Vandross, different people like that. You get one time to do it right. And if you do it wrong, you may never work for that person again. Because they'll remember, oh yeah, he showed up and he didn't know what he was doing. So, once again, I tell you it starts right now, at this age. So, there's tons of potential in this room. I see people that are going to do some great things. And so I'm glad that I could come here and help inspire you along those lines by letting you have a little insight into what I do. I do a variety of things. I have CDs out. I play it. That's why I'm dressed in black. I do a TV show about 3 or 4 days a week on a network here in the Dallas area because it's too hot to be wearing black on a day like today. But this is what our uniform is, and I didn't get to change. Do a lot of touring. I do a lot of traveling. But most of the time is not spent on stage. It's spent doing other things. And that's where I get to use English skills, math skills, all those skills that I learned in school, just like where you are. I use those every day. I have to type things, I have to make budgets, I have to do all of that. Sometimes I might fly 20 hours to some place to only play 90 minutes on a stage. It's the other things that you have to do that make life work. So let me inspire you. It's okay to be a hard worker even at your age. Track is real hard work, especially in Texas, as hot as it is. But I love it. So, I have time to play one more thing. Oh, you know what? Let's do this. You've heard me play. Let's see if you have any questions for me before I go. And don't ask me how old I am or how much money I make. That's people, how old are you, 87? Or how much money do you make? I don't even know. It changes every year. So, yes. That's nice. I like that.
Did you take lessons?
Did I take lessons? That is a great question. Yes. I took lessons for many years. I would take lessons now because you're always learning. I took lessons. I was in the school band programs. I was in the marching band at Texas Tech. And yes, I love learning from people. I practice every day. I'm working on things now. I've been playing an instrument for many years, but I'm still working on it. Yes. How long have I been playing instruments? Let's see. I'm 20 years old now. I didn't even catch that. I've been playing instruments for 40 years.
What?
Yeah.
You're 20?
And yeah. See, math doesn't work. Don't worry about it. There's a negative number there somewhere. Yes.
Did you come in a plane?
Did I come in a plane? No, I actually live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Oh.
How about that? Yes.
When did you play start?
No, it's a good question. I started with the piano when I was about 8, 9 years old. And because my sister played piano and I wanted to play, so I started playing. And my father is a retired band director, so I was around music all the time. So I was just a little older than you when I started this. Yes.
I just noticed all your instruments are gold and black.
They are. Most of them are gold, black, or silver. And this is just the natural brass. That's a black lacquer, which is like a black nickel. It doesn't scratch. I've had that on 3 years. There's not a scratch on it. And some people claim that it affects the tone of it, that it's in black. Now they're making some that have copper in them and different things like that as well. But it's all about the sound. Everybody's trying to create something that has a great sound. Yes. Did you have a question or were you stretching? Yes. Old Navy.
What's your kid's name?
Kids' names. Good question. One is named Ian, and he is a senior in high school, and he is a track athlete too. And he is going to be running track at Baylor University next year.
My sister wants to go to this.
Yes, he has a track scholarship and an academic scholarship. And let me say this. The coaches wouldn't even come out to the house until they'd seen his grades. The coaches would say, oh, we love him, he's running, he's fast enough. Let's see his transcript before we come out to the house. What does that mean? Grades are important if you're an athlete. If you, I'm going to be an NBA, I'm going to be LeBron James. Then have some good grades. Have some grades. Because you could, anyway, have some grades. All right, yes.
How old are you really?
I told you, 20 years old. I told you. Okay, older than 20. That'll work. Yes.
Yes. My sister plays the clarinet,
Okay.
and she said if the reed breaks, the song will get like.
If the reed breaks, it's over until you put another reed on there. That, remember when I played without the reed and there was no sound? Because the rest of this is just an amplification of what the reed and the mouthpiece do. See, the reed makes noise by itself. Yeah. But without, but see, it won't change tones until you put it on the rest of the instrument. All right. Yes.
What do you think would happen if you were a famous chef?
I hope I am. I like that. What do you think would happen if you're famous? I'm trying to be. This is like some people will say, are you famous? I'm like, that depends on the person asking the question. Last question. Yes.
I played the guitar.
You played the guitar. That's great. That's a great start. And even if you don't play music for a living, it's great to learn to play an instrument. It's awesome. All right, I'm going to break my rule. I have 2 more questions. Yes.
My mom and dad bought me a violin.
Wonderful. My father taught orchestra and band, so he also knows how to play the violin. And the music is something you can do your whole life, even if you don't do it as a profession. I know doctors, lawyers, all kind of people that play an instrument in their spare time. Some of them play it at their churches. They play it. They go out and play with their friends. You know, my sons aren't going to be professional musicians, but we take a group of people caroling every year, and we all grab our horns, and we show up on people's doorstep with a full orchestra almost. And I play, as a matter of fact, I played soprano, my father plays tenor, one plays baritone, one plays alto. We had all the 4 saxes covered, 3 generations. All right.
3 generations?
Yes.
What is your wife's name?
Sharon. Sharon. And we've been married for years. Because if I tell you that, you'll go, how could you be married at 5 years old? Last question, Mr. Blue Jacket.
You just broke your voice.
I did. Because I'm being nice because you're such a great class. Yes.
How many instruments do you have?
See, square root of 3. Carry the 1. I have 1,000. No. I have 3 saxophones, a flute, a clarinet, and a piano, and some keyboards at home. And that's it. I'm trying to learn to play those. Okay. I still play the piano. That's where I do all my writing. The songs you heard that I wrote, I do that at the piano. And I just thought of something else. A lot of what you heard today, some of that I did at home with my computer and my keyboards. I have computer skills too. Look at all the things you need besides being able to just play an instrument. Yes.
Where did you go to school?
Well, I went to Lubbock Dunbar High School. I grew up in West Texas, and then I went to Texas Tech University. Before that, you know, of course, elementary and middle school. But I went to Texas Tech. I have a music degree from there. There are a lot of different degrees you can have in music. You can have education degrees, you can have a music performance degree, you can have music composition, music theory, conducting. There's so many different ways you can. Some people are just music engineers. They just record the music that we play, you see. So there are a lot of things you can do. Some people score the movies that you go see. You go sit there and you listen to the music. Somebody had to write that. The song I played from Star Wars, it's the great John Williams. Wrote all that music for Star Wars, all those movies. John Williams, yes. In the shower. John Williams. Can I read this? Yeah, I did see this when I first walked in, and this is, yeah, that's. Is
it true?
It's true. Yeah, well, she wouldn't write lies up here about me. I mean, it is true, and it's you all are amazing. I mean, this has been fantastic, and I hope I get to come back and see you guys again. But I hope you learned something. So when you sit down at dinner tonight with your parents, you can say, "We learned about jazz improvisation today. It's spontaneous creativity." How about that? And your parents will be, wow! You know, they'll be impressed with that. So remember some of those things, and you know, hopefully I'll get to come back and see you guys again. Oh, great! And for you guys, this one has a melody that you'll hear over and over. That's kind of fun. So here it goes.
My friends, Frankie.
don't know what's going to happen. Let's see. I was shouting out the A section, the B section, the solo section. So that's the way the music is constructed. It's not just all thrown in there. We know exactly where we're going from one part to another. Okay, so yeah, because hopefully we know what we're doing. Well, thank you very much. Unfortunately, I do have to go. You all have been amazing. See you next time.